Hey everybody, welcome to the O3 Dropcast, where we cover the offbeat, off-meta Legends of the Armory. I am not your typical host. As you can see, it is a little different here today. Craig and Bryce are both out of town enjoying fabulous vacations, and they unwisely left me in charge, so I had to bring in the only other person I knew that could help me burn down the podcast efficiently. So I'd like to welcome our guest, Jeff O. You may know him from his apparel business and other Twitter ongoings and events, part of the Greentree crew. So, Jeff, welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, and I would like to clarify, I'm actually just the only other person you know. So with the two of them gone, this is what you get.
I mean, there are worse people to be the only other person I know. So
I
will.
disagree, but this is how you live your life, and that is what you did.
Well, hey, you know what? Some people make mistakes, and we just try to, what is it? Look for the silver lining, so to speak.
I understand. I'm very happy to be here. I am happy with how this has gone for you guys. This has just gone so well, and I'm super happy, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Well, no, I appreciate it. And like I said, I mean, for people that aren't kind of familiar with us, you kind of used to live in Pittsburgh. You've moved recently. And so it was nice whenever we kind of brought you on here and you said, oh, yeah, there's, people around my area that listen to you and say that you're doing a good job. I mean, we really appreciate it. So,
yeah, I mentioned I was filling in at my Monday night armory at the Midnight Oil in Lancaster, and I mentioned I was guest hosting, and somebody said they were subscribed. So, hello, Tori and Violet. I will see you all on Monday.
Well, yeah, thank you, Tori and Violet. Hopefully, we meet you at an event or something like that. Because any friend of Jeff is maybe a friend of mine.
They are. They're some of our new players in Lancaster. We're getting a boom of new players. We've gotten a good 6, 7 of them that are Armory regulars in the last 2-3 months, and they are all starting the game so well. It is disturbing how good these people are. I don't even know how to read when I started playing back when Everfest just came out, and they're coming out of the gate better than I could hope to be. So it's great. It's good competition.
So let me ask this, because one of the things that we kind of try to focus on here with the this podcast versus maybe some other ones is the new player experience.
Sure.
What is your store doing whenever you guys are getting new players? Like how are you introducing them to the game? I assume CC, because you guys are a relatively CC heavy location, right?
I'm in an area that some very clever people have affectionately called the Bleak Expanse. It's like a 1.5 hour ish area of Lancaster, PA, Allentown, Reading, and just a couple of the other cities. And I think there's 10 armories a week. You can go almost every day of the week, and sometimes, depending on the day, you could go a couple different places. Yeah. So it's a pretty wild place. Our new players are just showing up super informed. A lot of them are just people who are maybe a little disillusioned with Magic, or perhaps just wanted to thin their collection a little bit, and they are coming into this game just well researched and very hard to beat. And in some cases, one of these days, I will beat them. It's crazy, but it's really great. I love having nice people and especially strong competition at these armories, so I welcome it. But yeah, it's been fun.
I'm always amazed at people that come from other card games and then just can get into this and pick it up so quickly. I mean, I played Magic, and it is so different. It took me a long time.
We're older people with bad brains, and these are younger people with better brains. So I think they're just having an easier time than we are.
No.
To answer your question, though, I'm sorry. So we do the normal things that I think you all in Pittsburgh and a lot of communities across the country and globe do, which is just the new player bulk welcoming, where whatever you're basically looking for, you're going to get a pile of it. What I like to do personally, there's just so many cards in my binder that I think have been sitting there for over 2 years at this point. So we had a new player who was just interested in Ninja. So anything like Mugenshi Release and Lord of Wind that nobody's needed to trade for, and I'm also not going to play. I just give them copies of it. Who cares? They're $2 mystics that aren't selling and aren't leaving my binder for trade. It's not a problem for me. And I have little welcome packs. I have them. I'm turning around like I have a camera. Sorry, I'm not in my studio where my laptop is. I have just little packs of 3 Sink Below and a set of Null Rune that I should probably include unmovable in there too. Faith for Scenes are a little harder to come by for some reason. Yeah. But anytime somebody's new, I like to have those ready to just hand off to them. So those are some pretty valuable cards to have right out of the gate.
No, I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's funny to just kind of talk that way, because there's somebody that, whenever I was playing a lot of kind of web-based magic.
Hmm.
This individual's name is, or Twitter handle is Obosh Likes Juice,
Okay.
which Obosh Magic is kind of like a Hellion kind of thing.
Oh,
Uh,
they were the one you just tagged
yeah,
everybody in today on Twitter.
woke
Yeah,
everybody up at 2 a.m. or something
that's
like
what you do.
that. But yeah, and it's funny because they posted like, "Hey, getting into Fab." They just started to build new, and I was like, "Okay, here." And I like literally just today sent them a care package of like, here's a whole bunch of like M's, and I think I put like a trench in there that I just traded for.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not made of money, but like if I have like a $10 rainbow foil legendary, like
Yeah,
it's going to make more of a difference to a newer player than it is for me, and I'd like
yeah,
them to keep coming back. So.
yeah. Especially if it's like a class like you're not going to play. Like
Oh, totally.
this set, if anything, has made me realize I am not an illusionist player as much as I wish I could be.
You're not an
Uh,
illusionist player yet.
yeah, well, yeah.
You just got to keep at it.
If you could turn me into an illusionist player, Jeff, I would be shocked.
I'll do
Uh,
it.
we'll give it a shot. But speaking of illusionists, so again, I know you're new to the pod and everything like that. One thing that we kind of like leading off with is kind of what did we play this week? Did you go to any armories? Did you play any illusionists? What are you
I
getting into?
I did. I went to the Midnight Oil, which is a great. It's like a board game cafe slash like kind of sober bar, I guess is the best place to call it. So it's
Okay.
like a little more elevated than a coffee house. They do a lot of cool like specialty like handmade sodas.
Oh,
Like
that's cool.
we did our ProQuest there, and I had a lavender redeemed. It was like lavender and sangria flavoring and like an Italian soda. It was wonderful.
That's
But
cool.
I went to our armory there, and I had every intention of playing Prism. I've been doing my research. I've been doing some testing with you guys, and I'm like, I think Prism's still pretty good. I put in a Vambrace. I was ready to go, and then I played Dash IO instead, which is not Prism, and I went 0-3 actually for the first time in a long time. I got beaten in a nice game, but a game that was fully out of my control by a Vincent in round one. Which I just think is still a strong deck to people that devote the time to learning it. It's those hand disruption effects I think might be pretty good, especially in this new meta. And then
Yeah.
that unbreakable damage or unpreventable is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
My second game I played against our friend Derek, who hosts Steelblade Showtime, and he played new, and it was awful.
Mm.
He, he just disrupted so many cards from my hand and banished so many cards from my deck. I had a max velocity in my arsenal for I think 7 turns. I just couldn't play it. One thing or another kept happening, and it was awful experience. And then my last round was against Zen, and it was a good game that I just didn't win.
Yeah.
So overall, pretty disappointing, but fun. Dash IO is a fun deck. I am amassing the cards for Enigma, and I am turning my Dash IO deck back into regular Dash.
I get it. I mean, Dash IO, it's funny because the more I'm hearing about Dash IO, the more I kind of want to pick her up. We had Mara on a couple episodes ago, and she was talking about building Dash IO, and I was like, you're kind of making it sound fun. Like
it's absolutely fun. It's like Viscera. It's one of those decks that's like super fun, but just not necessarily great.
That's fair. That's fair.
And maybe people that are better than me would have better luck with it, but like I know what I can do. I know who I've been having good luck with, and I'm going to stick with it.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, this week on my side of things. So again, you used to be in Pittsburgh. We do a lot more limited, a lot more blitz, things like that.
Blitz.
And so we, anytime there's a new set that kind of comes out, Greentree basically just is like, hey, for the next month, we're just doing limited and sealed.
It's usually 6 weeks because it's the most miserable time of the year for me.
See, I love it.
6 weeks of darkness.
Yeah, if you hate limited, it is a sad month for you. But like I love it because I'm like, okay, this is a good way to just keep getting cards in my collection and things like that. Or if we get new players, we just offload bulk like crazy. But this was actually the first time I got to play limited for this set. I didn't get a chance to do any pre-releases. My wife had surgery, things like that, that kept me out. But I went in and I said, okay, look, I said, I played Enigma and CC for one of our YouTube series. This is why I drop, and I was like, I just don't get her. I don't understand. So I was like, I'm gonna force Enigma. I'm gonna try to understand it because everybody's saying how good she is, and it isn't clicking with me. And it was miserable. It was absolutely miserable. I played into oh gosh, who was round one? It wasn't Joey Bobbles. It was somebody else. I can't remember off the top of my head now. It was a new Feeney, Matt Feeney, round one. We had 20 people at Armory, so the gem broke it up as a what is it? An 8. oh gosh, what was it? An 8-6. No, that doesn't make sense. It's like a 10-6-6 or something like that. There's two 6 pods.
I'm sure whatever their pairing was didn't make sense. Also,
Yeah, I mean it was very weird, but yeah. So we had six. I was in a six person pod. Went into a new, and then I went into a Zen, and then I went into an Enigma, and every game just felt real bad. Felt real
yeah,
bad. New played a whole bunch, like you said, of those like, hey, can't be prevented. And I'm like, well, I don't want to slap anything on the board because once you react, it's just me wasting cards.
right.
So I guess I'm just taking it, and burning through it. So
I think if it were me, I would just try to force Zen. It's just the easiest one to push through.
mm,
I think I'm just not good at limited, and that's where most of my frustrations with it stem from.
yeah,
So
I think that's the call. Is like it almost felt like me to like five, where like I'm like I could probably put together just like a decent ninja deck if I
yeah,
just force Zen. Also, I think there's something to be said about learning the right transcend cards to pick. Like I'm sitting there going, oh,
oh
I'm gonna
wow,
like I picked the ones that were like I forget the name of it, but it's like maybe drop in the ocean or something like that, where it's like make target attack -1 and then transcend if you played a blue card. And in my head, I'm going, I'm going to play as Enigma. Bring something down one certainly is good. So I optimized those as my picks for my transcend cards. I didn't think I like the whole play a blue thing first to be able to transcend for it. So
I never even thought about I gladly skipped a draft tonight at Fourth Wall, which is
mhm.
another armory right by me, to be here. But I never even thought about picking the right transcend cards. Wow,
Yeah,
oh my god, a whole new layer of this for me to screw up. This is
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. Ones that are a little less contingent, like the stir of the pot, the one that just shuffles, or the one
Yeah,
that just gives you
sure.
one life. Those things seem a lot better because it's like, oh, I could do this my turn, I could do this your turn. As long as I play the blue, I can transcend. But the ones that like it's like, hey, make target attack. I'm like, well, I can only do that on defense, so I really need some sort of like blue defense reaction or an instant speed blue aura that I can play as Enigma to really get the value out of it. And it didn't line up as much as I was hoping.
It's hard. It's frustrating. I'm just not good at making the pieces fit together, and there's no set that I know well enough that I would actually feel comfortable claiming that I'm good at it too.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a very good limited player, and I'm fine with that. I'm at peace with it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's fine.
no, I mean, it's to each their own. I think I do draft over sealed any day, but again, with me not being able to pre-release, I kind of want to try this in sealed and just say like, hey,
Sealed felt great with the 8 packs. It really felt like you had a little more consistency and a little less just I really wish I pulled something a little bit better.
yeah, I mean, now, do you think that that's just because there's like the transcend cards, or do you think that that would kind of make more sense if they said going
Having just
forward we try to do more eight?
that's really hard because I don't know when the next time we're gonna get a set where the talent works interwoven with all three heroes like that.
Sure.
So a lot of it that I liked again though was the 30 card limit. I
Mhm.
really was getting tired of just playing the 40 card fatigue pile in whatever the sealed format or draft format
Yep.
was. So it might just be a combination of the two things. But I don't know. I don't know that it would necessarily make a better sealed experience to have 8 packs if it was heavy hitters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might just make the best deck more oppressive.
Yeah.
So
That
it
makes a
could
lot of
have a lot
sense.
to do with the talent being shared.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of
Because do you
sense.
remember how awkward it felt in Uprising sometimes too, when you were trying to be the one ice hero when it was the two draconic one? I don't know.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what this set feels like is like at least and it's funny when you mentioned the hey, let's see who can fatigue each other out kind of thick deck it. It's nice that it's a 30 card stack limit here
Love
whenever we go
that.
draft, but the Enigma match, man, it felt real bad because it was just like, well, I just see whoever wins is the person that decks the other person first.
Yeah.
Like neither of us are taking damage, so it's just, am I going to deck you and then be able to sit there and just have enough shields on to kill damage? It's almost like, yeah, the match would be like, let's just flip cards and say this is how I would play it, and then whenever we get
Right.
on no cards, look at what the board state would
Well,
be.
let's roll dice, yeah, see whoever has the most reward.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be an excellent segue, but I'm building Enigma for CC, and once John gets back, John Roma, the owner, oops, I doxed him, the owner of Greentree Sports Cards still live. He is sending me the rest of what I need, including my Traverse the Universe, so I can finish my Enigma CC deck. And I gotta tell you, these singles prices,
They're good.
they're real good. I've been super surprised.
And they're just going to get better. So, I mean, I know you and I are kind of fans of this, and it's funny that you said, like, hey, you got your stuff from John, because I did the same. Normally, I sit there and, like, past couple sets, I bought, like a case or case in a couple boxes.
Sure.
In the past 3 sets, I've opened no L's out of my case. None. And so this time I said, not buying anything. I think I bought 1 box from Star City Games because it had the Cold Foil Slither promo on it.
Yeah.
It was a trash box. But the rest, I went to John and said, look, John, here's my buy list. Like, I want to buy all the stuff for Assassin because I have no interest in Illusionist, no interest in Ninja. Just give me a price. Gave me a price. It was cheaper than a case, and I'm set for new. He did a common rare playset thing as well.
Oh, I bought one. Yeah.
Yep, I did that too. So literally, I have no need to buy any more cards, and anything I draw into is just gravy at this point.
It feels great. So I think there's just a lot of moving parts that come to this, because a lot of our people, and I don't like the term newer player because it just sounds so like,
Sure.
So let's just say our players who have been playing for less than 6 months
Okay.
have been very, very excited to open the product. Like, some
That's
of
fair.
them were like, I want the Ninja cards, I want the Assassin cards, and went in together on cases. And some of them just found other ways to like share or trade together. But I think a lot of it stems to like the depth of your collection, because with it being a non-rotating game, like, we're pretty entrenched players. Like, I'm going on my third. I think I've been playing for 3 years now, actually. It's been some time. Like, there isn't necessarily always a lot I need out of the new set. And with this one in particular, I have no interest in any Ninja or any Assassin.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to Illusionist, I have all the existing stuff that you would, if you weren't playing the class, would have to drop a lot on.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't want to say that, like, spending $200 is like a small amount of money, because it's not. Like, that goes a long way. But when you're already going to allocate that towards your hobby, and just knowing you're going to get what you get, like, if you could support a local store by shopping that way, I think for me it's the way to do it.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, and it's kind of interesting that you brought up the fact that, and again, we won't say newer players, but the ones that have been playing for, let's say, less than 6 months, as you
Players
called
just
out.
with smaller collections.
Yeah, it's a smaller collection, which kind of brings in the excitement of opening it, and plus, what you're relatively, or still learning the game, or still, wrapping your head around all the heroes and what's going on. Buying a case is good because you're like, maybe I'll love Illusionist, maybe I'll love Ninja. Like, let me try everything. Whereas, like me, and this is what I love about the game, I don't feel like I have to buy everything. Like Magic, when I played that, it was every month it was multiple boxes. I need it.
A little different with this.
Stuff. And this set came out, and I looked, I'm like, well, I'm not a big Illusions player. Like, Ninja, I'll play, Unlimited or something like that, because I like Fi casually, but no need to, go day one on it. But the Assassin, I was like, I love Assassin. I'm going in on it. I'm real excited about new. So I was sitting there saying, I could just pass it up. Now, if the day comes where they're like, hey, we're going to release an Assassin, Warrior, and I don't know, Guardian set, that's a different story. I'm buying like,
yeah.
Like, I'm like, I need everything.
I'd still buy the singles.
Yeah. But it's one of those things of saying, like, I feel that's a good aspect of the game that gets overlooked a lot, it's not rotating apart from heroes, and occasional bans and suspended announcements, things like that. So you really could just sit there and say, I'm going to build a deck, and then just every set add 1 or 2 cards that come out that make it a little bit better, and be perfectly fine with that. And
play Viscera, you'll never LL, and you'll get at least 1 specialization every set. Except this one. They forgot a Viscera spec.
That's true. But terrible. I mean, and it was nice too, is about, like, I know some people, are hot and cold on the whole Fab 2.0 structure, but I'm a big fan of it. I mean,
yes,
we're a week out, and, legendaries, the rainbow foils are, $50 or less for most of them. I mean, Traverse the Universe being a little over or being over at like $90 currently.
It's understandable, though. It's very good in multiple heroes that are
Yes.
in demand right now. I think
Yep.
that over time that will settle as well.
I
But
agree.
the other side of that coin too, though, the cold foils and the EAs, very expensive, still very collectible,
Yep.
still good chase cards. So, and the Marvels too, like I feel like kind of everybody wins. There's a little something for everybody when it comes to wanting to open products. So like we're a little bit jaded too. So like perfect example at our pre-release at the Midnight Oil. Ironically, it was Tori, one of your listeners. She opened the rainbow foil Fable. She was sitting right
Awesome.
across from me. If that were me or you, like okay, cool, but like I probably would have immediately texted John and been like, "How much?" You know what I mean? And some of our like one of our like less than 6 month players who plays Ninja opened a Marvel Zen.
Oh, cool.
Like how awesome! And then he also
That's
opened a
awesome.
Marvel Enigma. So like Alex, calm down. But like it's cool that just like I don't know. I liked seeing the excitement for those players to like have that experience of opening these things where
Agreed.
like I would literally just be like, I don't play Zen, it's already sold. Like it's just not like it's fine for me. I'm even getting to the point where I'll probably at most do one pre-release just to get the promos to add on the pile, but like I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
Like I just those aren't the event that's for me, and that's totally cool. And all of our pre-releases sell out, so it's not like it'll be a horrible factor.
Yeah, you're not bringing the store down because you didn't attend.
We had the single largest one I think was at the Portal, which is in Bethlehem. That's in the Bleak Expanse area. They had 38 players, I think, or something like that. And then when we were having ours at Fourth Wall, that we had 16. There was another one going on less than 30 minutes away that had close to 30 players. Like
That's
it's
nuts.
absolutely insane.
That's insane. I mean that and that's a great sound of the game. Honestly, like I mean we have probably 2-3 stores here
Oh
that
yeah,
are pretty consistent
very
with
active
that.
player base.
And yeah, I mean, like I like that the stores relatively communicate because you'll just see people get in one car, finish an event, get back in their car and drive across town, go to the next one.
I didn't
Uh,
have time because we were getting ready for Pittsburgh Pride, but I believe it was the Banish Zone and Fourth Wall worked it out that way. So all of our people went up to the Banish Zone, then they came back and we met for sushi, and then we played the next one.
no, that's
Like it's
awesome.
just great when they all work together. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and so like yeah, I mean it's great that they're still finding ways to add a collectible nature to it without it
Yeah.
being like a hey, there's only one printing of Tunic in this set, and if you don't get it, tough luck. It's
Yep.
like a hey, if I'm a collector, if I really want to play new, I can go for that EA mask. But if I just want something playable, just to sit there and say I'm going to put the deck together, play,
Yep.
armories or something local, I can pick up a mask for $58 instead of like $300.
I still think Enigma is on sale right now, though, because somebody like Rare or Fino is just gonna come swinging out of the gate again at Nationals with it, or even, oh, I know it's Dark Odious on Twitter, but I don't remember his name. But like any of those players just coming out swinging with her, I think she's gonna start spiking.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because now we're kind of in that like the risk it kind of phase where it's like okay, do I sit there and buy these pathways that are $30 now and hope that we get a great illusionist player at
Yeah,
nationals that is going to play it and then I have like a $90 card that I could trade out if I want, or do I
no,
hold and hope that Enigma has a poor
this
showing and
isn't
it drops to like
Snag.
trench.
This isn't Snag, Chris.
I will. I gotta say thanks to Pat today because yesterday at Armory he was looking for a snag. I had an extra one on my binder. I was like, here, look. I was like, I'll trade you for it. He had his trade binder. I'm looking through it and I see there's a trench there. And like I said, I was looking for one to give to Obosh. And so I look and I was like, let me see what the price of trench is. And snag as of recording was about like $16.
Yeah, I got
Uh,
3 of them for $1 because
yeah,
you were like, I think this card's good, and I was like, oh, it's only $1, and bought it.
yeah, and we did the same. Like me and Craig, we were looking. We're like, oh, like $2, we'll get a place out of them.
I'd rather have it than not have
And
it.
then I posted it, and then like all of a sudden it's like a $20 card. But like so he was looking for someone. I had an extra, and I was looking through his binder, and I looked at trench, and it's a Riptide staple, and it's $9 currently.
I can't remember who it was on. Ouch, $9. Sorry, that just registered. I
Which
had a few bucks to make up in a trade
yep.
on Monday, and I got a soul bond resolve just because I didn't have one. I was like, that's like what $5 gave me.
Yeah, and to me, it's like fun. I'm like, I never thought the day would come where I'm trading a snag for a trench. And honestly, have the worst end of the deal currently on it.
It's
You
good
know.
that the day is here because this
Hmm.
is always the conundrum when it comes to a trading card game.
Hmm.
Like saying that $50 is affordable for one piece of cardboard, that in some people's cases like could be a life altering amount of money given their situation. So I
Sure,
don't I
sure,
don't
sure.
ever like saying that these things are cheap because I
No.
just feel it feels weird to say that, but like in the context of a luxury hobby where it's just an activity. Maybe your thing's Warhammer, maybe it's building models, maybe it's like just collecting Coke memorabilia. In the grand scheme of things, a $30 to $50 legendary in Rainbow Foil a week after the set launched is fantastic
Hmm.
in terms of the playability of the game.
Well, that and you sit there and think about that's the biggest thing that we hear. At least I'm hearing from people outside of the
Right?
Flesh and Blood community. It's like, oh, it's so expensive to get into. Look at the price of these cards, and I'm like, yeah, but if you buy a tunic here for $80, that's one piece of equipment, and literally you could put that in every deck that you want, just everyone.
I the argument really like it's a bad entry point in any TCG except maybe Pokemon. I could spend
Sure.
$60 and be competitive at Worlds if I knew
Yep.
what Pokemon was and played it. But like and Lorcana in some cases too is becoming a shockingly affordable game to get into. But it's I, I think it's better. I think there's maybe some ways we could go. Like, it would be really nice to somehow get another reprint of Command and Conquer to maybe get
Yeah.
that a different affordable version of it in the hands of players. I don't even know what they would do because we already have a whiteboarder one, stick figures, like whatever it is. I'll sell my whiteboarder ones and get those ones. I'll make
Yep.
some profit. That's fine.
Yep.
But like, even if we just get a whiteboarder reprint and another one, like if there's, I don't know how they could do that, but
Yep.
it would be great to get more of those in players' hands as well, because that's the next hurdle that I'm seeing for all these players. They're, a lot of them have like they sell off a portion of their Magic collection, they invest in maybe a hero or two, and now they're hitting that wall where it's like, do I need the Command and Conquerors, or do I need an Eye of Ophidia,
Hmm.
or any of these? Maybe that's a bad example because it's a fable, but like these staple game pieces, I like that E-Strike and Art of War are in a $30 range because of History Pack. Like I would just love Command and Conquer to get
Hmm.
there too.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny whenever you say Command and Conquer, because have you ever? There's a website called I think it's called Fab Eco Proxies, and so like me, I only have three Command and Conquers. Like I'm not one of those people who have multiple, so like I have to move them between decks. So like when I build a deck, I go to
You
this Fab
broke bitch.
like Fab Eco Proxy. Like this is the Command and Conquer. It is just like like here
That doesn't use a
name
lot of
for
ink. That's
it,
great.
the site's amazing. Like it's like I have that for like a tunic. I have that for my Heart of Findall. I have that for my CNCs,
Yeah,
and I'm like, this is fine. Like, and so like I'll go and like when we're
sure.
playing games for Armory or something like that, I'm like, guys, like I have proxies in here. It's just a fun game anyway, so nobody cares.
Right.
But like whenever you pull it out, they're like, you broke bitch.
Yeah. Look at my Times New Roman proxy.
but yeah, like I mean, like I don't know if I want to sit there and say like, hey, reprint CNC. Like I'd almost rather they just keep adding like class specific CNCs. Like what is it? Leave no witnesses for assassin. Like where it kind of does a similar
That's a pretty
effect,
elegant solution.
and then
And
just
then
once
the
every
people that
class
have them get
has yeah
two. Yeah.
yeah once every class has a CNC, ban CNC. Just be like, we're pulling it out of the game. Like
You
there's
know,
other solutions.
that's working with chess pieces for a lot of classes.
Yeah,
So I could see that.
yeah. Tunic is becoming less and less necessary every set.
Tunic's a trap. You heard it here first on the O2 Dropcast today.
I mean, yeah, the Ultra. But no, I agree. I agree. I mean, I love that they're trying to make uh, slots that are meaningful in ways that you go, I don't need Tunic. I don't need Crown of
Yeah.
Providence. I don't need this because this card just does what my deck's goals better as opposed to just, it's a resource or it saves my arsenal, you know? So that's kind of good. But let's you know let's talk a little bit about the main reason here, Jeff, why I brought you on, and it's other than your fashion sense,
Yeah.
is camp. I know you and I have been deeply involved with camp planning with John and Greentree Sports Cards. Uh, So, for those that kind of aren't familiar or haven't seen the ads or haven't met Armani Pizza yet, what
Okay,
is camp?
can I ask about Armani Pizza because Craig will not let me speak directly to Armani. Like I have to speak to Craig as an intermediary, which I'm not necessarily mad about, but I just feel like I would like. Have you met him?
I have not, but I mean
Okay,
it's funny like I'll talk about Craig because he's not here, and so this is me testing if he actually listens to the episodes whenever he's not on them. But
you
you know,
know he's listening right now. Hi, Craig.
he's in the woods like right now, just like a like big antenna going. What the hell's going on?
I have a quick question.
Yeah,
Sorry to break the fourth wall here. Do I need to have echo cancellation clicked, or am I good?
you're good.
Oh, great.
I think you
Okay,
sound
so
fine.
anyway,
Anyway, but yeah, so Craig like people will watch it and be like, oh, he's so animated. Like, is this how Craig is? For people that don't,
yeah,
100%. That is
always
Craig.
100%, and
Like,
it's what's wonderful about him.
it is so like so great. Like I know Jeff, I was talking to you and I was inviting you on, saying Craig wasn't going to be here, and we were joking about Armani Pizza, and I was like, Armani Pizza was like a 2 a.m. thing that like Craig just in the middle of the night came up with this character, sent it out to like John and posted it places and Twitter. Like I wake up at like 6 in the morning getting ready for work. I'm like, what the hell's going on this the O3 Dropcast Twitter? And there's just Armani Pizza, just like imagine yourself in a babbling brook. And I'm like, God damn
The
it.
best type of marketing is the kind that you didn't ask for, and you also can't say no to because it
Yeah.
will happen anyway.
Like
I love Armani Pizza. I want to
it
be
is
very clear.
it is so good. Like I crack up with that with Craig because I'm like, I never know what's coming, but he is so invested in this show and things like that that honestly, like I'm glad we have him
Yeah,
because literally every day it's like, hey, I got this crazy idea, let's do it. Hey, I got this crazy idea, let's do it.
which is exactly how camp started. Not
Yeah,
with Craig though, but with John.
yeah, yeah, and it's funny to tie it back because yeah, like camp, like and again, so before we get into how it started, what is camp for those that aren't familiar here,
So,
Jeff?
Camp Greentree is going to be a 3 day summer camp of flesh and blood events. So, we have rented out a campground in Port Matilda, Pennsylvania. And if you're unfamiliar, which you probably are, Port Matilda is right outside of State College, PA. That's the home of Penn State, where I graduated from. It's kind of in the middle bottom of the state. So it's like 2 hours maybe from Philadelphia. It's pretty close to Pittsburgh, a lot of other places like that. So this is at a place called Godspeed Events, which is an absolutely huge, like camping kind of wedding destination venue. And we are going to be just doing some flesh and blood events. It's from August 15th through 18th, so you'll be able to start showing up on Thursday, Friday, or when the events are going to start. On Fridays, we're going to kind of have like camp activities. So we're going to have some counselors on hand. There will be some arts and rune crafts and a bunch of other fun things that'll earn you some merit badges. I do believe we're going to be having a poker tournament for Alpha Packs, but you're going to have to tune in for more about that later.
Mm-hmm.
And some side events that we're still hammering out the details for. Saturday, we're partnered with the Realm Games, so this is an RTI as well for their 50K series. But we'll be doing a 5K CC event. So that's $5,000 in prizing outside of everything else that'll be going on. And I believe that will have top 8 on day 2. But on Sunday, we're going to be doing a Blitz 2K. So even if you don't make day 2 in the 5K, there'll still be plenty to do alongside some crazy side events and other wild activities throughout the weekend.
Very thorough and depth. So we'll break apart some of that in smaller chunks. So yeah, so
Yes.
when we sit there and talk about kind of like Craig come up with these wild ideas out of nowhere, and you said John kind of did the same. It was Christmas last year. Again, I always sit there and say John's a maniac for some of the stuff he does and what he puts on for the Flesh and Blood community.
John and Keith, because we are working with the Realm on this, so Keith deserves credit for being a maniac as well, because he is.
Very true, very true. But yes, like we're doing John's Christmas party, and John's like, "Hey, look, do you want to judge it because there's money on the line, and I know you're trying to study and do like your judge stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, that's great." So like as I'm walking around the tables and that, and everything's calm, John kind of waves me over. He goes, "Hey,
check this out.
This is what I'm thinking about." And he just holds up like a website and it's just a campground. And I'm like, "What about it?" And he goes, "I think we're gonna do summer camp next year." And I'm like, "What do you mean we're gonna do summer camp?" He goes, "Well, like how we had like the Pittsburgh Brawl for the Realm series, and it was just in the convention center." He goes, let's just go to summer camp and just do camp activities. And like, I like immediately, like, my eyes got like 10 times their size. I was like, like this is just like, John, this is amazing. This is the best idea I've ever heard of.
It really is. It's going to be great. And I can't believe it's happening.
And part of me, I was like, well, maybe it's not gonna happen. I was like, this seems so tough to put together and like far fetched and that, and then
Nope.
just every month it was just getting better. And like, here's the details, and I talked to the
Lesson
guy,
one,
and
here's a
here's the
Pride Month
price.
lesson about the gays. Boom, we're going to get it done.
Yeah,
John was like, we're doing
yeah.
this. I started making phone calls the next day.
And so like we're going through it, and again, it was like okay, well, maybe how do I want to describe it? So like maybe we could do it as just like a normal flesh and blood kind of thing and all that. And he goes, no, we're gonna have like crazy activities day one. He
Yeah.
goes like, I understand not everybody can come in for like the whole weekend, so like Saturday, Sunday being like the big events, but then let's have stuff for like people that just want to come and pitch a tent and just do like side events or like, and like there's a whole side event schedule that's going to be coming out, but then there's like outside of like your normal side events, like weird things that we're kind of putting together.
Oh yeah, we
And
came up with some crazy
and,
ideas
and,
for
and
just
so
some.
like and again, none of this is set in stone yet. Like we're still ironing out all the details, but one of the things that we're pretty set that we want to do is like what like we were sitting there thinking, what feels like summer camp? And we immediately said like, well, what if like when you normally go to like a summer camp, you're broken into like cabins or teams or things like that, and like you'll have like color wars or you'll have something crazy like that. We're like, what if we just have like everybody gets assigned to a team, and then we do team activities like who can de-sleeve, re-sleeve, and then submit a deck and judge approved order. Like if you're
Yep,
getting deck checked, whatever team could do that the fastest and have it be accurate and checked by a judge first wins.
that'll
And
be the deck check relay race.
yeah, like stupid things like that, like the relay race. You mentioned that there's potentially going to be a poker tournament for alpha packs, things like that. Like we're trying to do an O3 episode, like live, like just basically around the campfire and just
I know we were talking about a game show
yeah,
at one point. We had some game show activities
yeah,
for prizes.
like a Family Feud esque kind of thing. There's things that are just being thrown left and right, and again, like it's a wild idea, but John, be like, we can make that happen.
We can
Let's
make it
do it.
happen.
Let's do it. Like I love the idea.
It's gonna
But
be fun to just be there with everybody too, because everyone knows it's the best community out
yeah,
there. So
and,
any excuse to hang out is great.
and that's the thing is like he not only was like we're gonna put it together in a way that I like, but he truly was like I want to make sure there's something for everybody. Like the campground, you could bring a tent and just buy like a spot to basically pitch a tent for the 3 days or 4 days or however
Oh
long you're
yeah,
there.
there's people that don't play really that are going to be coming. One of my friends has, I think she booked a cabana. She's just going to come for side events and to hang out.
Yeah.
Another friend, his wife from our area, his wife will sometimes come. She's awesome. She doesn't really play that much, so maybe she'll do sealed if we have like a sealed side event going on.
Sure.
But like people are just coming to enjoy themselves. It's going to be a crazy time.
Yeah, like we joke saying like we're just gonna make like hot dogs around a fire, but legitimately like at nights, that's like kind of what we could just do is just
Well,
like
or you could visit
okay.
the we have the some food trucks that'll be there as
Yes.
well. I believe Kung Fu Barbecue from Ohio will
Yeah.
be there, who are Flesh and Blood players.
Yeah, that like that's one of the cool things too. Is like when we were talking about like, okay, how do we feed people? How do we make sure everybody has something like to eat or able to get things? Because again, it's not in the quote unquote middle of nowhere. It is close to
No,
State College, but it isn't like you're a downtown of a big city where you could just walk 2 feet next door and just get a Subway or something like that. But like so, John was reaching out to food trucks, and the Kung Fu Barbecue is basically like, hey, look, we play it. Can we just bring our truck and park it on site and then just feed you guys? Like,
hell yes
so,
you can.
so we're like, yes, it solves the food truck problem. People can now go buy food, get whatever they need. We're getting people to play the game. We're supporting their business. We're doing all this kind of good stuff. So it's kind of neat. So there's going to be food trucks. There's going to be, like I said, people just camping in tents. There's cabanas.
The
There's
staff
hotels.
itself at Godspeed will actually, so they're like staff on site. So if in the morning, even if you just paid for the, if you paid the tent fee or you paid for a cabana or whatever it is, they're preparing breakfast every morning.
Yep.
So that's not even something you have to worry about. We
Yep.
talked to them. They have plenty of on-site refrigeration. So if you wanted to bring your own stuff, there will be there. And this isn't like in the middle of nowhere. You can get to a grocery store in 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit less than that. And even if you want to just go explore, State College PA is right down the road. You're like a 10-15 minute drive from there. There's not it isn't the most populated area in terms of anything outside of State College. There's a mall. There's some other things you could do too.
It's secluded enough to feel like summer camp, but not so secluded that you're like, oh my god, if I get lost out here, I'm never going to be found again.
No, you go to the grocery store. You go to the grocery store and be back within an hour. You'd be fine.
Easily. easily. So yeah, so I mean, it's neat that we're kind of going in that regard. Now, I will say the one thing too to people is the on site. So again, if you're not sure, like, hey, look, do I want to stay on site? Do I want to not? It is not air conditioned. We've been told plenty of ventilation. It shouldn't be a problem. There'll be fans, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, they
Uh,
have those large like the fans. It's a 400-person event hall
yeah,
on site as well that has weddings all summer long.
yeah,
Like it's yeah, I know exactly what they're talking about. It's
yes.
not 100%. It's not air conditioned, but it has cooling systems in it as well.
You should be okay. Yeah. So I mean, like, don't let that necessarily bug you out. But if you are
I'm
one of those
staying at a
people,
hotel.
yeah,
I
like
set
like
up 2 hotel blocks at Top Trees Resorts in the Days End. There's info at gscfab.com. I am not staying in the woods like a savage.
and that's what I was about to say is like, I like there's three tiers of people. Like we had Anna on, and she's like, "Oh, I'm bringing my tent. Me and my husband are like going, and we're just tenting." There's some people out of Ohio. You may know one of the individuals on Twitter. His name's Sleep Coma. He posted the other day like, "Hey, look, here's my tent. Get ready for Greentree Flesh and Blood."
Big
Uh,
Polish Rich, I know he
yeah,
booked one of the cabins. I
yeah.
hope he's listening. Love that guy. I can't
Like,
wait to spend the weekend with him.
yep, me and Matt sent on stream. We're sharing a cabin, and then like you're doing the hotel. So I mean, there's a wide range of options of how roughing it you want to be, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I know that I am making some pretty cool stuff for camp. There are going to be actual merit badges available for the various activities, so you're going to be able to earn those. I'll be making them myself. I'm making some really cool shirts that are going to be available. I do believe I'm going to be set up making on-demand shirts on site on Friday, so you'll be
Oh, that's
able to come
cool.
up to me and pick from designs and colors, and I'll make them right on the spot for you, or get them to you at specified time of the weekend, depending on how many people are asking at once. I know John was asking about bucket hats and other cool camp related items. So we're going to be doing some cool stuff. But yeah, it's going to be one for the books. So I
Hmm.
would absolutely recommend you start making your way out this way in the summer. And again, that is
Hmm.
August 15th through 18th. And unless you plan on going to, I believe it was in the Philippines for a calling. This is
Hmm.
the only other event going on that weekend.
Yep.
So you know what I mean. It might be a little bit closer.
Hmm. Yeah, and one of the things too when we're talking about merch is there's a couple packages on gscfab.com.
Yep.
One of them, and probably the one that I recommend just because we've kind of seen it already, is there's one that comes with a play mat and a dice or a die.
Do
It's
you
like
have the dice yet?
I do not. John has them, but I have
John
not.
forgot to leave them for me when I was in town
Yeah,
for Pride, so I
I
don't have
I
any.
do not have one physically
I
with me.
have I one of my good friends owns an electroplating factory basically, so we made some very cool dice that you could check out on the website. They
Yeah.
are big, they are heavy, and they're slightly offensive, so they're perfect.
They're very, like, again, if you don't know, the PA area is generally very brute filled, and so
Yeah,
it
same
is.
out here too.
Yep, it is one of those things that like. As anybody in like kind of like the tri-statey area up here, like I think you're gonna get a kick out of them. If you haven't seen them yet, go to GSC Fab on Twitter. There's like I believe a couple pictures and posts of
And
them.
gscfab.com as well. There's pictures
That
of
as
them on there.
well.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, they're like Jeff said, they're big, they're metal. You throw them down, like it is a lot of fun. They are
You're
really
gonna
cool.
dent your opponent's cards and you're gonna feel great about it too. That's the other thing. We're not responsible for anything that happens from it, but if your opponent they slap down, so you're gonna feel good throwing an 8-pound die at their Marvel Command and Conquer. That's what they get for even daring to do this bullshit to you. You deserve better. You went to Camp Greentree.
Yeah, please. I will say the O3 official stance is please do not damage your opponent's cards.
My official stance is do it, but I'm not responsible. You are.
Yeah, but no, like I actually didn't even know that you were potentially making shirts on demand on
Oh
site.
yeah.
Like
As
that is
long as I got electricity, I'll be there doing it.
that's super cool.
We had that just I'm so sorry. We had a question and one of my friends and I locally at our chat were discussing the legality of if you eat your opponent's hero card, does it negate them using their ability? And one of them asked that in our judge channel in their Discord, and the first like they were like, "Which one of you did it?"
I feel like every group or every community has that one person where you go, I could see them being the one to try that.
I mean, I'll eat an enigma.
Speaking of trying to cheat people, we had a couple weeks ago, Josh K.
Yeah.
He had a dice that was six sided, like a normal die, and he had it in his hand. He's like, okay, he's like, you want to roll? I was like, yeah, sure. He goes, 1, 2, or 3. And it had like it was a 6-sided, but it only had 1, 2, or 3 on it, so 2
Yeah.
instances each. So I was like, okay, that's 1, and he rolled it, and I'm like, wait a second. He goes, too late, you called it. So he had 2/3 of the thing. I'm like, I hate you, Josh. And then we did that through the rest of the armory, and he got every single person by saying that.
Wait, yeah, that's
We're like,
pretty
wait a
funny.
second, wait, no, this doesn't work. But no, I mean,
One of our local players has the actual chance cube from the Phantom Menace. That stupid alien rolled. That's a bad movie, but he has whatever it's called. He has it, and it's funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, there's lots of things, but I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good weekend.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of excitement, a lot of hype, a lot of people kind of already talking about it, prepping about it. We are gonna have, like I said, for people that do want to get up there early for Friday, I know we can get in there Thursday night. So if you want to be there all day Friday, again, you're welcome to. Friday will be very chill, very relaxed, but well, those will be more of those camp activities, some of the more fun stuff. That way, Friday night after everything's done, if you have a team and you want to sit there and start prepping for the CC tournaments and the Blitz tournaments, the things that have the big money on the line, you'll still be able to do that. But you can come in and feel like I don't have to be full serious full time. You can enjoy the community, have some fun, play some games, win
have a
some
few
cool
beers
prizes.
if you want, do whatever.
Yep. I will also say the quote unquote counselors, the uniform and the stuff that we are putting together for it is very fun.
God, I
It is
can't
very
even.
fun.
I can't even deal
I got
with
a
the
piece of it in the mail
sunglasses.
today, and I'm not allowed to show anybody what it is.
It's good.
But it is so stupid and
good.
so fun. I love
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so I mean, it'll very much be like an old school '90s-ish kind of vibe summer camp. So
We're trying to like Wet Hot American Summer is our mood board. So
Yeah.
we're hoping to deliver a slightly less confusing experience.
it's very slow. It's just ever so slightly.
I promise Ronald Reagan is not trying to attack the camp like in Wet Hot American Summer, so we will be okay.
Fair. But
and you could take that promise to the bank.
But yeah, no. So I mean, it'll be a good time. Like I said, I'll be there. Jeff will be there. John will be there.
I will be casting. I will be in charge of the casting team that weekend. I'm still assembling the rest of them, but I think you might recognize the name. So we'll just have to see.
Yep. Like there's a lot of stuff.
Trying to get Armani pizza. I'll say it. I'm trying to get Armani.
If we can get Armani, I don't know if we can afford Armani. He's had a little taste of fame. I don't know if Armani would. I want a little taste.
I want a little taste of Armani. He looks good.
I had Mario's pizza for the first time in a long time last night, and it was not a good idea.
I won't ask how many times you went to the bathroom today, but I will assume a brute would be happy if they rolled it.
It's so good, but it is not the best pizza for old people like me to eat.
It's so. Mario's has like a cult following, and I will say it's not bad, and it's great that it's provided.
Yes,
but I will be fine if I never have it again in my life. So it's okay.
That's fair, but no, I mean, yeah. So like, I very, very, very strongly recommend it. And again, I'm not just saying that because John does a lot of stuff for us for the show, things like that. Heck, if we weren't affiliated with Greentree at all, I would be very excited for this.
John does nothing for me and never has, and I still think you should go.
That is true. In fact, I would say John hates you the most out of everybody in his life.
He tells me every day. That's what I wake up to. He's like, I hate you. I need this from you. I'm just kidding. John's the best. But he does text me what I just said.
Yeah, just make this happen. But
yeah,
but no, it'll be a really, really fun time. I mean, I think it'll be a nice mix of competitive nature for the big events, while still being casual enough for the as we call them, the legends of the armor, like the everyday people, just to come, go, have a good time, maybe win some cool prizes, but I don't think anybody's gonna be walking out of there.
It's SCG Con in the woods. Just without the Magic players or SCG or Lorcana or Star Wars, unless you want to bring them, whatever, man. This is your weekend. We can play Lorcana. I'll play Lorcana right now. Yep. But there'll be vendors, the Realm and Greentree sports cards. Bring your cards, buy, sell, do both. It's literally just SCG Con in the woods, but not SCG Con for legal reasons. It's just con, but not like con. Okay, we can work on that.
I will say too,
Camp Greentree, it's a con.
It really is. I mean, I will also say that we've kind of talked about a lot of it, but if you have any questions after listening to this, uh, go to scgfab.com.
Can you link it in the show
I
notes,
will put it in
including
the show notes
the
as well.
FAQ document? That'd be awesome.
Yes, there is an FAQ document that we are going to keep updated as questions come in. It's pretty thorough right now. I mean, it covers everything from like, hey, where can I stay to can I have alcohol on site, all that
Yeah.
kind of good stuff. Can I bring my pets? All that kind of stuff is covered
You
in there.
can't.
You
You
cannot bring
cannot
your
bring your
pets.
pets. Sorry, nothing personal. We love pets. Shane's aunt just got 2 boxer puppies. They're amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see them every day. I don't want them though because they're going to kill everything.
Sure.
But you can't bring your pets. I'm
Yes.
sorry. It's insurance. It's liability. We love dogs and cats and whatever else your pet is.
We've gotten that question quite a bit. But yeah, no pets. But there's a lot of other stuff. Please check out the FAQ document if you get a chance and you're interested in coming. If you have any other questions too, reach out to myself, John, Jeff, Matt,
Sin.
He's
Sin on stream. He's been helping us with so much of the planning. Some shout out to him as well.
So either of the 4 of us would be able to do it. And again, I would definitely stay up to date on Twitter, because as we get closer and closer and closer, I mean, God, it's only 2 months away or so now. We're like,
don't talk like that.
I know,
but
it's
yes,
scary.
Also yes.
Like by the time this posts, we're like kind of early to mid June, and we're talking like end of August, mid August. So it is going to be here very, very fast. So I would definitely say if you have questions, reach out to us, stay posted. Because again, we'll be updating and posting announcements on Twitter, updating the FAQ. If you bought the package that does not include the dice and you want this on the FAQ as well, please reach out to John. He has a code or something he can give you that basically, if you're like, hey, I'm going to buy this package, it takes a certain % off that makes it so it would have been the initial cost. He has something that works like that. So don't feel like, hey, I bought early and I feel like I'm being punished. We 100% can get you that playmat and the dice, because the playmat is also awesome. I know we talked a lot about the die, but if you have not seen it, it is basically a whole bunch of heroes from Flesh and Blood that are just kind of in casual clothes, sitting around a bonfire, just hanging out. There's Reinar in the back with like a big spear meat. There's Meeps. There's a Arachne on the top of like a cabin or barn.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in it. So definitely, I hope we see a lot of people from the show out. Again, we are hoping to try to do a live thing or do some sort of recording there for the show. So if you want to be a part of it, or potentially be in it or talk on it or watch it or whatever live, that'll be available to do too. Hopefully we get to see it. We'll probably have all kinds of like O3 goodies and that coming out. But it all in all should be a pretty good time. But I mean, I know we're kind of getting close to that hour mark, Jeff, and I promise I wouldn't keep you too long here. So any final thoughts, anything I didn't cover that you want to yell at me about?
Not at all. I hope I'm so happy that you let me fill in. I hope I did a good job. I hope Craig and Bruce are happy. Are they both back next week?
I don't know about both of them. I think Bruce may still be out. I think next week may be a solo Craig week. So
I'll come back. Listen, Craig, call me, baby. I'll be here.
Craig, there is a chance, knowing Craig, I would not be surprised if Craig recorded the podcast twice, once as himself and once as Armani Pizza. And
okay, you know what? Don't call me. Do that. But otherwise, I'll come back. I don't care. I'm inviting myself publicly, and it's fine.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's vacation month. We're the 3 of us are out, so there'll be some weeks with 2 of us, all 3 of us, 1 of us, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, they, I think Bryce will still be in Italy at that point.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's trying to scoop up some stuff from the Italian Flesh.
Oh, you call him Bryce here.
I mean, he's introduced himself as Bruce and all that.
Wonderful.
Kind of stuff.
Great.
I'm falling back into old habits as saying Bryce again, because I talk to him more regularly now. Like we talked all the time before. I like Bryce a lot. But since we've started podcasting, now we're like every day talking in Discord.
Yeah, he's great.
And I've started to actually use his name, and I hate myself for it. So I was like, I got to start going back to Bruce.
He doesn't answer to it anymore. So you got to call him Bruce. Well, I changed it to Bruce's shitwall. No one noticed.
Well, I love because everybody's like autocorrect is now autocorrecting Bryce into Bruce.
Wonderful.
And so it's like, oh, damn it. Like he's super deep now.
He's just going to wake up and scream one day. He's going to have this existential identity crisis.
No, but yeah, so yeah, I'll be happy for them to be back, but I do appreciate you coming on. It was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Follow me on Twitter. I have to look up what my handle is. I don't know if we call it Twitter anymore. It's just more convenient too.
It's always
It
Twitter to
looks
me.
like Jeff0_Fab. That sounds like me. If it's not, just ask Smith what it is, and he'll tell you.
We'll post
It's
in
fine.
the
Yeah.
when the episode goes up, all of Jeff's socials and all that
Listen.
kind of stuff too.
I'm
You'll
a
find him.
boomer. I'm old. I don't know anything. I don't know how to work the computer.
Hey, and
It's probably right, and they'll fix it if it's not.
we'll just edit it out so like it sounds like you're saying what your actual handle is if it's
Yeah.
wrong. But
I guess the only thing I could think I have left to say is just stay pizza.
stay pizza, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. But we're out again. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Greentree. Hope we see you guys all at camp, and we'll catch you next time. Take it easy.